Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We're covering Married at First Sight Australia, Season 11, Episodes 5 through to 8. Now, Chris, I am dying to speak to you about this one, but I'm going to try not to talk for an hour about one particular thing. So I'm going to ask you, where would you like to start today?
I've been dying to speak to you as well, Dave. I think it's got to be, we'll start with the weddings, the last two weddings. So we had Andrew and Richard and Lauren and Jonathan. So Andrew and Richard, obviously, she's 51, he's 62, he's a biker. Shows her biking, very similar in like the music and everything. I really like the dynamic of like, she had a daughter there. She seemed very fragile, Andrea, to be fair, but Richard didn't seem that bad at the start, Dave. I thought, you know what, I don't dislike him, but I thought, he's an older bloke. He knows what he wants. He said he'd lied on some of his dating things because he's like, who wants to date a man over 60? And obviously, not being that age and single, I wouldn't know. So I was sort of like, well, fair enough. But I don't know. It just seemed to. As the episode went on and the wedding was dead nice and everything, and then he just went full on Partridge as the week went by. He seemed to be wherever he fucking stood, he was on a landmine, wasn't he? That just completely fucking not decimated Andrew, but the poor girl by the end of the week was like, why am I fucking here? But anyway, I know I've talked for a bit, Dave, but I just thought, what an interesting couple again. Well,
it's interesting what you say about Richard, because honestly, I felt like straight away I thought, oh, you're a bit of a dick. I mean, literally, he is a bit of a dick, isn't he? Is Richard?
Yeah.
So there's something about him, and he's telling everyone, "Oh, yeah, everyone tells me, I don't look like I'm over 60 or whatever." I'm like, sorry, mate, but I think you do. I mean, we discussed this in the past, haven't we? If you go back like a generation or two, people generally do seem to be older. I remember my granddad, it must have been about, 50 or something. I remember seeing pictures and it's like, fucking hell, people just looked older, they dressed older. So I don't know, but I'd have placed him in his 60s if I didn't know kind of where he was. And I thought, the whole line about your age thing is like, it's not a good start, really, is it? And I can't remember, but do you remember that old footage of that Australian guy who's getting arrested?
Yes. He's getting in the car, isn't he? Yeah. He's trying to push his head down, aren't they? And he's like, fuck off.
Ah, yes. You know your judo well. It's brilliant. I watch that at least a few times a year, I've got to say. But he reminds me of him. Like, he's trying to put on a bit of a posh accent, it seems. And yeah, I think I was softening a little bit to him because I think from that first impression, I thought you were a bit of a dick. But then when he got together with Andrea, they seemed to get on quite well. But, jumping a little bit, obviously we had the dinner party, didn't we? So for Andrea and Richard, we had the wedding. They were obviously at the dinner party, and then it was the confessions week. And you'd kind of seen Tim previously. It's a wonderful piece of editing, isn't it? Because Tim's saying to Lucinda, oh, I'm not going to, it's ridiculous challenge, the age of us to do this kind of beauty contest thing. It's ridiculous. There's no good that can come of this. And Richard's just like, I'm going to put her there. And her there, and I'll put you kind of near the top because I feel like I have to, but not really. And it's just kind of brilliant how they edited it all together. But yeah, Alan Partridge is a good shout actually for Richard. It's just something really off about him, and I just don't know about where I see this couple going. Interesting though, Chris, I mean, we've spoken a few times, haven't we, about the kind of positivity, if you can call it that, of seeing things like gaslighting, coercive control and behaviors like this on reality shows like MAFS and Love Island and stuff. Not always called out, but sometimes called out. But it seems like Andrea, she was watching MAFS, and someone was being controlling and gaslighting, and she was like, oh wait, that's happening to me. And so she sort of killed that long-term relationship. So there you go. The theory that this can, give some good into the world is, you got a test case right there.
Yeah, and you know what, Dave? It's interesting, isn't it? Because gaslighting, nobody sort of knew what that was really as a word, or as a, that's not just a word, that's probably disrespectful, but as what it is and what it means. And there's a lot of people, whatever we call these reality shows and stuff like that, a lot of people have gone, oh shit, that's me. And hopefully they've had a positive outcome, whether they've sorted it out with the partners or they've gone, fuck that, I'm off, sort of thing. But yeah, she's very, very fragile. And I think as the week went on, obviously at one point they're talking and he's like, yeah, we've not. I mean, his accent is weird because I thought he was South African at one point. Whether that's because he's putting on a bit of a posh accent, I don't know. But it didn't sound like he was Australian. But then as he was, the week went on, when they actually had sex and he went, yeah, bit of crash bang wallop. I'm like, oh mate, please shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? It's just like, please be quiet. You're just making it fucking worse. But Dave, what tipped it for me when I was like, oh, you're a dickhead, is the fucking game. And why they do that game, who is the best looking out of the group?
Yeah.
And he's there and he's analytically looking, going, well, she's really good looking and she's really good looking. And I'm like, whatever you do now, Richard, Andrea has got to be number one. Whatever you do, if you are reading your new wife and you've been tone deaf at times with some of your dialogue and some of the things you've done, even though he thinks he's done nothing wrong and he isn't doing it on purpose to be nasty like some of the other contestants, it was when he went, yeah, third, I think that's a good fucking thing. And I'm like, mate, what are you doing? You always pick your partner as number one. It's not just about, I know the game's about, I mean, I think it's a bad game anyway, Dave, because why would you do that? Even if you think someone's really good looking, you would never pick them over your partner ever. Fuck me. My balls would be in a fucking vice if I was playing a game like that. Sam would fucking rip them off, Dave. You know what I mean? If I did that, I wouldn't do that to her anyway. I'm not just saying it because she's listening. I would pick you first, Sam, by the way, if you're listening. But but you would, wouldn't you, Dave? Why would you do that? Anybody with any sort of like respect for their partner would never. You would never disrespect her. But for the TV, it's fucking brilliant because I'm like, oh no, head went down, and Sam looked at me and was like, he's a fucking bellend, and I was like, yep, he's a bellend, 100% a bellend. So, what did you think of that, Dave? Because I thought it was comedy gold. Even though Andrew was really upset, I was just like, you are stumbling into more of a fucking mess here, Richard.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Andrea. She was upset by it, but it was also comedy gold. Just walking with his size 9s in there. It's just, so dumb. I just think, he's deluded, isn't he? I mean, his I guess we've had a few of these on these shows, haven't we? The motivational speakers, Chris, and that's what Richard is. And so, they're always a bit mad, aren't they? They're always a bit deluded, and you sort of think, okay, what is your deal, kind of thing. But no, I think no idea where this couple are going to go. But he's going to be entertaining, isn't he? For all the wrong reasons, but that's why we like these characters on MAFS.
and that's what it is, Dave, isn't it? It is. You sort of think when you're watching that. There is people, when you get introduced to them on these shows, you're like, why are you single? You seem like such a nice person. And then as it carries on, you go, right, I can sort of see why you're single, actually. I can sort of see why you are looking for love on a reality TV show. But anyway, brilliant week. But what about Dave, Lauren and Jonathan? So Jonathan, good-looking guy, Dave, got a great body on him. You can see he looks after himself. He's got one of them, what they call sleeper builds, Dave. He's got like a Ned Flanders type build anywhere. He just looks normal, but then when he takes sleeper build, then he takes his top off and he looks like fucking Arnie or something. But yeah, do you remember it in The Simpsons when Ned takes his top off?
I can literally see him ripping his sort of jumper off now.
Marge was having a fucking heart attack, wasn't she? Anyway, but yeah, he's got Ned Flanders. He used to make me laughing. Simpson. Every time he took his top off, he looked like fucking Rambo or something. But so Jonathan's, good guy. Fucking Lauren. She starts. I mean, what was interesting, she's doing what some of the other contestants have been called out for on this, where she's like, I was in Finger last week, wherever, was it Bali or wherever she was, she's getting fucking hammered. She was just having a great time, wasn't she? I mean, she kept him late. Her and her mate, it seemed like mean girls, to be honest. She seemed to be dead, I don't know, like Dixie, just really like, I'm all about me. But when she got to the reception, I was for it, because I don't know whether they told his stepsister to just play that, like, I do not like you, but she literally played it brilliantly, didn't she? And she was fucking levered. She was just getting drunk, probably nerves, but I thought it was great TV, I'm being honest. I thought it was really funny.
I mean, it comes across, and you have to be careful, don't you? Because you see what the editors and the producers want you to see, but she does always seem to be running for a drink.
Yeah,
she does seem to be, there. Fair play to her. She seems to be on this show. She knows exactly what this is, and she is going to come and have a great time. She is going to cause loads of drama. She's going to give no fucks whatsoever. And I think in terms of say you have these comedy pairings, don't you? Let's take this, this extreme party girl and put her with Lauren, and put her with this straight lace guy who looks after himself and probably, I don't know, behind closed doors, you reckon he's a bit of a Patrick Bateman or something. I can imagine him being very, organised and stuff like that. But yeah, these two are definitely an odd couple, aren't they? And, even on the honeymoon, she's just saying, he's sort of too nice. He needs, what was it? She said something about, oh, yeah. You need to be more vulgar. It's like, what? And you do wonder sometimes, don't you? It's like, careful what you wish for. I don't know what do you reckon would lead someone to be in that headspace where you're basically after an utter bastard.
I mean, obviously, it's got to be she's been treated like that. She obviously thinks that's the norm, but it also, maybe she knows her own personality. Maybe she needs someone who's strong enough to tell her to, calm down, sort of thing. If they're out and she's having too much, someone who will sort of put her in check, in the right way, and just say to her, enough's enough. So maybe that's what she means. But the vulgar side of it was fucking weird. It was like, well, what? Well, I had all sorts of things going through my head, Dave, thinking, I really don't want to know what that actually means in some respects, because I did feel sorry for them, because I felt as the week went on, there seemed to be a nicer connection, like the last couple of episodes. She did seem to have a bit of respect for him, and even when they were picking partners, she straight away went, "You're without doubt the best looking one." He put her first, and then she said it like, "You're the best looking one." And she said something about Jack, which I thought was funny. But she threw a few things in, but she did seem to calm down. It's just whether when they go back to another dinner party or she's with her friends, because we've seen it with some of the contestants, haven't they? Once they get in their normal environment, they then change into this like arsehole. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's breaking them walls down, but it's a fucking TV show. I don't think hardly anybody's going to stay together on this. I really don't. Having watched it previously, it's getting as bad as Love Island for everyone splitting up. But there's a bit of hope there that he might be able to check her, and she seems to have respect that I don't think she had at the start of the week. So I'm sort of half positive that Jonathan might be able to do a job. I reckon by tomorrow's episode, I'll probably be going, what the fuck was I talking about on the podcast? But at the moment, I'm quietly confident. At the moment, I know people are ahead of us. They might be like screaming, going, "Chris, you dick," but we'll see. We'll see.
It's an interesting point you make there about her calming down. I do definitely think she came in. And I almost think everyone's putting on a bit of a front, aren't they? They're playing a bit of a character, whether that's just a more kind of extreme version of themselves or, playing up to the cameras a little bit. Or, they're acting someone completely different. But we have almost seen two versions of Lauren, haven't we? Where, she comes in, like say, really kind of over the top, being quite outrageous, but intentionally outrageous. But then, like you say, later on in the week, she did seem to soften a little bit. doesn't like Jack at all, which, says she's got a decent judge of character, maybe. Yeah. But I don't know, just with this kind of reality TV, I don't know. Does that mean, is this classic rom-com stuff, Chris, where they, Lauren and Jack end up together or something like that? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say I'm quietly confident with that couple, but definitely in terms of the curve, the trend that they're on, it's definitely getting better than how it started.
Definitely. And I've got a question for you, Dave, because we go to like the first dinner party, pretty similar. Just before it, we've got Natalie and Collins, right? Now, I've got a theory, Dave. So, like Chat GPT and all that, AI is a big thing. Is Collins a fucking AI robot? Because every time they put him on screen, he's like looks dead sullen and he's sort of looking, and then they must go, "You're on screen," and he just like this fucking fake smile comes like he's in some horror movie. Like when you see like the smiling clown or something, and he is so fucking fake. And poor Natalie, he won't speak to her in the car. She's crying, and he's just looking at the camera, laughing. He's saying, "Oh, fucking what her problem is." He won't engage with her. He is. I'm very surprised because he is the one. I thought there was a chance with these two. They were both geeky, both quirky. It seemed that he'd never had a relationship, but I was poking fun at him in the last one, but. I thought maybe there's something there. They'll get together and they'll communicate on, what their interests are. But oh no, I think he's actually the biggest fucking faker on the show, by maybe one other person, because he turns it on for the camera. It reminds me of that Richie a few years ago, when we interviewed the Aussie girl, and he was like, she said that every time he came on the screen, this was her words, was it turns it on then, as like he was all in, but he wasn't interested before. So I don't know.
It was Lara, and I'm pretty sure she's Canadian.
Yeah, her as well. Yeah, she may have been Australia, but her as well. Anyway, fact checking, Chris. But I just think he just seems so weird, Dave. He's like completely turning it on for the camera. He's just there for the clout, and it's like he's just been really horrible to her, and he speaks to her really derogatory. I don't know. By the end of the week, I just was like, "You need to get out of there, Natalie." I don't know what you think, Dave. I mean, he's great TV, but what a fucking strange character he is.
Yeah, there's so many tangents I want to go off all at once. Right. First thing, have you heard of this whole Willy Wonka fucking debacle in Glasgow?
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So I know we have listeners all over the place. So probably, I don't know if this has made it to the international media or not, but basically this whole scam, someone had put adverts out, probably on Facebook. That's where most of the scams are, about this immersive Willy Wonka experience. And they generated all of these fantastic images. It was like you were in, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and basically people paid, what was it, something like 40, 45 quid or something daft like that. It was expensive, so you have high expectations about what this is going to be, and it was pretty much empty when you get in there. It's like this warehouse. You've got a few props scattered around the place. You've got this girl dressed up as a sad Oompa Loompa. You've got they hired all these actors, and then the problem is whoever the company, and I was reading up about them, they do sound like a bit of a scam artist, to be honest. They do lots of these little things and just trying to make a few quick quid. And they generated scripts for the actors to follow, but all through AI, probably just plug in Chat GPT. Well, AI can sometimes throw up what they call hallucinations. It just makes shit up. And it made up this character called the Unknown, this guy, this creepy guy who lives in the walls of the chocolate factory and stuff. And then they've got an actor basically dressed up. He's got this creepy sort of silver face. And his long, scraggly, dark hair. He's got this long, flowing black cloak. And it's this footage where they're going, the Willy Wonka's guy's going, "Oh, what's this? It's the Unknown." And the Unknown comes from around the corner, and you can hear the kids go, "No." The kids are in tears and stuff. It is absolutely amazing. I'm kind of obsessed by it. But you know what, Chris? This was like, what, 2 weeks ago now? They're only going to make a horror movie about it
Oh
with this
my
unknown
God.
character in. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, fucking hell, that does look like quite an iconic horror movie sort of character or whatever. So, yeah, be careful with AI, kids.
Yeah, it's true though, isn't it? But
Yeah.
we get to the dinner party, and obviously Natalie, she goes
Sorry,
off.
that was only one tangent, Chris.
Oh, sorry, I apologise.
No, so I wanted to bring it back to the AI thing with Collins. I honestly, I feel like, you know, Men in Black, where you have aliens coming down and then they kind of walk amongst humans, but then obviously you're following Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, and all these characters are a bit odd and they're clearly not human and not fitting in. It's like that with Collins. Now, I know there's been a bit of chat on the Facebook group, hasn't there, about, you know, is he on the spectrum? And I'm not completely ruling that out, but it doesn't come across that way to me. I mean, someone like Tristan, I think, yeah, definitely, you know, there's a bit of that there. But with Collins, it just comes across like he is just a massive faker, and he's a terrible actor. That's the problem. Yeah. And the thing is, Natalie comes across like someone who does genuinely believe in the premise of the show. And so she's genuinely upset. You can't act that shit. Or if you do, you're in the wrong job. You should actually be an actor. And she's pouring her heart out, and he's just giving that stupid fake laugh. You know, it's just,
that's pretty good.
Oh, what are you doing? You know, you just want to shake him, don't you? And everything he says is bollocks. And when you get to the dinner party, you know, when she's basically said she's had enough, and he's trying to act like he's distraught as well, but actually he's trying to figure out, you can see it in his head, he's like thinking, how can I get back on screen? How can I get back into that dinner party? This is the end of the road, but I don't want it to be. So yeah, I think he's genuinely the most fake person I've seen on any of these shows. And that, Chris, is a high bar. We have had so many fake people. I mean, the majority are fake, you know, straight off the bat, but he stands out. And I'm not having that it's that's just the way he is. He's just massively fake to me.
Yeah, I agree. And on the dinner party, Dave, we get a little bit of rumours that one of the contestants, shock horror, please make sure you sat down, I don't want you collapsing, Dave, has got a girlfriend on the outside, Dave. You know, it's not like MAFS haven't played this fucking story for I don't know how long. It might, you know, we see the vetting, don't we? John and Alexandra Mel, and it's like, yeah, we're really good at what we do. And there's always fucking, I mean, you can lie, can't you? There's only so much they can do, but you think some researcher would find their Facebook, Instagram, you know, different things, obviously, you know, do a bit of research. But no, apparently Jack has got a girlfriend. Now, I'm not being funny, Dave. As the week went on, Jack started turning into Veruca Salt. He's fucking, he was going redder and redder. How long he'd spent on the fucking sunbed. But I was like, mate, I don't know what it is about Jack. I don't like him. I think he absolutely fucking loves himself. He's the old lollipop when he'd lick himself if he could. And, you know, she deserves better. She really does. And he is Lauren, and I think he's just an absolute cock. And it doesn't surprise me. And when they're doing the games and that, he's so disrespectful towards her, isn't he? You know, like the way he speaks to her, everything. I don't know, Dave. I mean, I've gone off on one there, but what do you think of him as a person? Because I don't like this guy at all.
Well, I guess the first thing is, I think you probably mean Violet out of Charlie the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Violet. Yeah, not Veruca Salt. Violet. Yeah, Violet. That's it. Yeah, not Veruca Salt. She's the mean one, isn't she? Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Sorry, but I couldn't really concentrate on what you were saying after that. I was thinking, Veruca Salt. Why? I was trying to make the connection. Veruca Salt.
Got it wrong. I did it.
Sorry. So yeah. I said last week when we chatted, I do genuinely think he's a bit dangerous. You know, the kind of attitude that he has, the fact that oh, what's her name? Tori? Is it
Tori, not
Tori?
Lauren. I said Lauren. Tori, yeah, Tori.
Yeah, yeah. So, her mate was saying, "Oh, it's a bit weird, isn't it? He's got all of his clients in here, but it's sort of maybe an indicator that he can't hold any kind of long-term relationships." I think that's right. I think there is definitely something in that. And yeah, he's got this weird, well, not weird obsession at all, but he's got an obsession about the way he looks, doesn't he? And Christy, what do you think to man buns? Because I'm going to put it out there. Yeah, I think it looks fucking stupid myself.
He looks fucking like a bell end on it. And Jaden, even Jaden when he's got his hair down, I don't like long hair. And I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't work. It looks better if it's tied up. But yeah, man buns look fucking ridiculous. You just want to get scissors and cut it off, don't you?
Yeah, I just think it does look ridiculous. Now, to be fair, he does have that body on him, doesn't he? But yeah, it's really high opinion of himself. I mean, it must be a bit tricky for the show because if you think about it, when they're going through the audition process and everything, there's no real coverage. I mean, there might be a bit in Australia, I guess, but you don't know who's being interviewed. So it sounds like, this ex-girlfriend of Jack's came out, when obviously when MAFS starts, that's when everyone knows who the contestants are. I think probably there are a few weeks before, there are probably articles and stuff. So mega fans will probably be onto that, and reading about who the contestants are going to be. But mostly people are going to watch it when they appear on screen. And then it seems like she's been sat at home watching. It's like, fucking hell, it's my boyfriend. And then obviously the first thing you do, Chris, is you go to the gossip magazines and make a few quid on it. But what I really didn't like is the way he was kind of discrediting her. We've just reviewed. Oh no! Spoiler alert! We're a few weeks ahead on VHS, aren't we? I won't talk about the movie, but there's a bit of discrediting of the witness that goes on there that it reminded me of. But I'm not going to spoil the movie because we haven't announced it yet. But yeah, he was basically saying, "Oh yeah, she's a bit crazy," and it was a very casual relationship kind of thing, and just nothing that he said rang true. He was just absolutely full of shit. And it is interesting that Lauren does seem to be, one of the people who's kind of calling him out, not necessarily to his face, but, and Jaden as well seems to, not have any respect for him. No one's really believing what he's saying, but it didn't really kind of blow up, did it? It didn't become this big thing. But you can see he's ready to go into battle. If anyone calls him out on his bullshit, he's ready to go into battle there.
Yeah, he is. And I think Tori's the catch more than he is because he's just fucking somebody who he's got a great body on him, but don't we fucking know it, Dave? The man bun, ridiculous. And I just think his whole attitude and his whole personality he's going to go through life really. As far as I can see, he's going to basically have a long list of women who he upsets, breaks up with, cheats on, until he gets to the point where he's like, I need to stop being an arsehole. But he's probably going to be too late. He's probably going to be fucking Richard by the time. He'll be on MAFS in 30 years going, I've made some terrible mistakes.
I was thinking.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, he's just like, mate, you're a dick. You should appreciate Tori. But she's in complete awe with him, isn't she? So it's just like, no, you're better than him, Tori. Please. And again, another terrible fucking matchup by the MAFS fucking crew. Fucking absolute bellends. Mate, it's great TV, but at the moment, I'm not buying anything Jack's selling. I'm really not, Dave. I don't appreciate anything that he offers. I just think he's a snake and he's there more than ever to just fucking be on the show. Another one.
Do you not feel like Tori, though? She's a bit too much into the, with the real power couple kind of thing, I kind of feel a little bit sorry for Tori because I think she's in for a fall, but I don't know. I'm not really warming to her either. She really does love the smell of her own farts.
Well, Dave. Well, a little segue. We've talked about Jack and Collins, but I've had a bit in this week, and you messaged me, and I was a little bit behind you, and I was like, I don't know what he's talking about, and all I got was Jaden on WhatsApp, and I'm like, what's he talking about? And I'm like, right, I need to watch this. And I was a little bit behind, so we watched it a little bit later. Holy fucking shit, did I rewind that twice? When he was talking to Eden, they've both been cheated on. That's the prefix, and he's a kickboxer. And I'm still suspicious because of who his brother was and someone who's been on the show and everything. But I'm like, all right, fair enough. We'll go with that. What the fuck, Dave, was all that about? And how he pulled that off on his ex-girlfriend is something that I've only ever seen allegedly in porn movies, Dave. So anyway, tee us up, Dave. What did he say? Because I was pissing myself laughing.
Honestly, I think my message to you was just Jaden and laughing emoji. But I didn't want to say any more than that. I wanted it to be cryptic, but make sense when you saw this moment. So, Jaden and Eden were in my top books, really in my good books. And when we were just talking about Jack there, and at the dinner party, he's talking about, oh yeah, I put 6 pounds on when, when we went on the honeymoon, but got it all off. I thought you'd find that fascinating. Thought, no, mate. He's the way, his body shape is the way he is because he's in the ring and fighting people and stuff. You're on the fucking treadmill. It's not the same. No. So I was like, yeah, go Jaden and Eden. And then it comes to the confessions episode, and they're obviously, doing a bit of teeing up, aren't they? So Jaden's saying, oh, I'm not really sure, if I should say this thing. And I'm thinking, come on, Jaden, how bad can it be? He says, doesn't he? And I'm sure everyone's watched it. But basically, he says that, his ex-girlfriend was cheating on him with multiple people over a period of time, it sounds like. And so rather than, split up, I guess, or agree to move on, he kind of agrees to move on, but with a caveat, Chris. He's going to plow one of her best friends and make her watch.
How did he get away with that? That is like, one of them things you'd see on like, a Carry On movie or a comedy thing, like a sketch, wouldn't you? Where it's like, I tell you what, to prove to me that you still love me after you cheating on me and hurting me, I'm going to pick one of your friends. You're going to watch. And if I ask you to join in, you better fucking join in. Otherwise, pack your bags, you're out. I'm thinking he's obviously wanted. I mean, what makes it even more of these questions everywhere? She's not a fucking friend. As if like his ex-girlfriend's like put it out in a WhatsApp group. Look, I've been rumbled in. I've cheated on fucking Jaden. He's basically said, if we want to stay together, will one of you sleep with him and can I watch? Can we film it? Is there any chance I could join in? I'm like, what the how he's pulled that off, Dave, and he has no fucking regrets at all. I was thinking, oh my God, you're fucking Patrick Bateman more than anybody I've fucking seen on this show. That for me was the biggest fucking red flag I have seen in this show, Dave. My jaw was on the fucking floor. And also, realistically, I was sort of like going, I'm not admiring him because that's a terrible thing, but also thinking, I can't believe you even pulled this off and got away with it. I mean, he's not with her now anyway, but what a fucking story that was, Dave.
It's awesome. I think, to be honest, the massive red flag for me was the lack of remorse. I mean, I can imagine, if he's younger and he's kind of distraught. He was with what he thought was an exclusive relationship with the love of his life, and then he's absolutely destroyed. I wonder how many plans there were or proposals there were in between that, because you've got, right, we're going to split up, or no, we're going to stay together. I'll forgive you. Or option 3, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to sleep with your best friend and make you watch. There's got to have been a lot more iterations of that plan and proposal, but it's just bonkers, isn't it? I mean, the thing is, I guess you say about getting away with it as if it's like a kind of not a thing to aspire to, but it's like he wanted to do it anyway. For me, it was like a revenge shack. It's like you've cheated on me with all these people. I'm going to cheat on you, but it's kind of not. Well, it's cheating slash. Is it cheating if you're like right there? I don't know. The lines are blurry, aren't they? But I'm going to make you. I want to inflict pain on you. I want you to see me doing this. It's not just I'm going to sleep with your best friend. I'm going to make you watch. So that's a particular level of deviousness. But when your emotions are all over the place, if he'd have said, look, it was a fucking stupid thing to do. Like, I wanted to lash out. I was so hurt. I just wanted her to feel for a little bit like I felt. And then I hope we moved on from that. But it's just like, no, don't regret it at all. So there's so many questions there. But like you say, with the friend, what's going on with the friend? Like, I like the idea that she just put it out into a friend's WhatsApp group. Yeah, sorry. Been rumbled. I'm guessing her friends probably knew that she was up to it, a lot before. But one of them has agreed, and I'm thinking, what is your motivation? What is your fucking skin in the game in this? Did you
Jaden's skin?
Jaden, or are you so much of a friend? I mean, we all need a friend like that who'll literally take one for the team.
He's taking one for the team, Dave, and then he's taking one for the team. Fucking hell. I mean,
amazing.
It baffles my head, but also it was just like, as I said before, I rewound it. I was like, Sam went, what? And I was like, why? What? And it's my fault. I'm doing the old, you've got your phone and you're trying to make notes, and I'm dicking around on my phone. And she went, here's what he's just said. I was like, what? And we rewound. I was like, what? And I went, that's what Dave must have meant. I was like, what? And then I did it again. I was like, yeah, honestly, brilliant for the show. But like you say, there could be, when you're saying about they could create a fucking horror movie off the back of that Willy Wonka fucking character, who also does look like the child catcher out of fucking Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I think, more than anything. But you could make a fucking movie out of what Jaden said. You'd be like, well, it would be a proper rom-com, that, wouldn't it? But the seedy rom-com that you may find online, Dave, allegedly. But anyway, let's move quickly on. But then all across the show, there is red flags for me with everyone. So you look at Timothy and Lucinda. Now, Lucinda's, she's like a very earthy person. She looks a little bit like a hippie. She's very a free spirit. To put with Timothy, and we've got to call him his full name because we've got obviously Tim and Sarah. But Timothy they get together. She's very touchy-feely, very things. She wants like affection and that. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with it. But then you've got Timothy, another great pick by the fucking experts, who basically wants to sit there all day in his tracky bottoms watching fucking cricket or rugby or something on the telly. And then whenever she gets a bit of affection, you can clearly see there's a bit where they're on the bed and she gets on top of him and she's literally thrusting her fucking pelvis into him as if to say, I'm here. Let's go. And he's like, yeah, give me a minute. And then he's saying to her going, well, the thing is, you've just got to be patient. And I'm like, mate, you've got about fucking 3 weeks on this show. You're getting booted off. I can't tell you when it'll be. I can't. And she's just there. And I'm like, at the end of it, I was like, why are you on the fucking show? I felt sorry for him in the last episode when he was saying about, I don't feel I'm good enough. You can get better. But as it's gone on, whether it will be part of this, he's not emoting it correctly, is he? He's not willing to talk, and he's just sitting there on fucking TV. Even the producers must be going, we've dropped a right bollock here. This guy's on a fucking all-inclusive holiday. He's just not engaging at all. But again, what a great fucking character. So
you've got to wonder that the TV cameras are not there all day, are they?
No.
So they just come for set times in the day and then catch conversations, and then I'm sure they tee them up, talk about this, or if it's Confessions Week, here's a box and whatever. But there's a reason that they've shown us that bit where Timothy's just watching the TV.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, the camera crew's here. Oh, brilliant! The fucking cricket's on, or whatever's on the TV. I'll just put my joggers on and then just start watching TV on my own. I don't know. It feels slightly like it could be manipulated, that bit. because I just can't imagine in the real world, going behind the camera. Why would you do that? Like, surely you'd make a bit of an effort to be on your best behavior when why the show has picked you and put you on there. So I can't help but feel like someone's got him into that position to really ram home the message that he's not interested in Lucinda.
Possibly. And also, I suppose I'll give him at the moment, maybe should give him a little bit of slack. Maybe Lucinda's doing a bit of the old Collins, a bit of the old Richie. Maybe she turns it all on for the camera, Dave. Maybe she's playing a character. Maybe she's the one who's like the fake, and he's just like, oh, I can't be fucking doing with you. You're just so fake. Maybe that'll come out. I don't know. Maybe I'm cutting him a bit of slack, but at the moment, I can't see it.
No, I mean, it looks ridiculous, doesn't it? But she doesn't come across to me as being fake. She comes across as being incredibly open, warm, and they're just a bit of a mismatch at the minute, aren't they? He's saying he's a slow burn. He doesn't feel, up to it. She's asking, do you fancy coming on this 3-day tantric sex party? So they're both at opposite ends of the spectrum, and there's no middle ground right now.
No, you're right. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's there, and he could be dipping his bread, Dave, and he doesn't want to. It's just weird. It's fucking bizarre the way he is. And it could be the show. Maybe he's realised, what the fuck am I doing on this show? Like maybe it's that. Maybe it's just, we have seen that from people where they go on different shows like a Big Brother or a Love Island, and they're like, I'm out. Look at Jake in the last Love Island, Dave. Couple of days in, Liberty's there, He literally goes, I'm out, guys. He knows it's not for him. He probably knows it'll affect his mental health or whatever. Maybe that's why he's like that. But yeah, fuck it. Again, every couple, I was like, oh, there's shit going on here with every one of them. I'm happy about this. It's not like you can really fucking vouch for anyone. But yeah, he was brilliant, Dave. He just looked like a grouchy old man, like they've been together for 20 years, and he's like, look, I'm watching the fucking cricket, leave me alone, I'll see you later, sort of thing. One of them, like, they were living separate lives. It was bizarre, wasn't it? He just, it's as if he'd settled into the life he had before Lucinda, whoever, with his partner or whoever, like he's done that before, and that's why the relationships have fell down, because he might just be happy and chilled, sat in front of the telly, but from Lucinda's point of view, she can't wait for that 5 minutes of the day where he thinks, I tell you what, I'm going to go and give her a bit of affection. Doesn't work like that, does it? So 5
minutes.
Look, I'm boasting there a bit, to be honest, Dave. You know what I mean? That's making a brew afterwards and having a chat and stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right, maybe 30 seconds. But there you go.
But going to fall into sleep.
Yeah, that one. But what did you think of then, Dave? Tim and Sarah, because I think she is a fucking blagger, Dave. An absolute blagger. I don't trust her. The whole phone. Well, why would you need to hand the phone over? And what she was doing was like, we laugh about this. Like, I've read them books on the body. Like, I'm no fucking expert. I read it, and these little things. She was, for her life, trying not to blink and not move away from the camera to give her game away. She was so fake. The smile was just proper. We say about AI robots. It was a proper like, I don't know why he doesn't trust me. I'm okay, mate. Why would you need to do that, Tim? Tim's been cheating, and she is absolutely, and she's not the only one, because other people are doing it as well. But I was like, that is a red flag for me for Tim more than anything. Whereas he put his foot in it in his mate, and I watched his mate's speech again. Fucking hell, it's on Gogglebox last week. It's fucking brilliant. Even if you're fucking rancid, he'd go and eat you. I'm like, what the fuck? It's just terrible, but it wasn't even funny either. But it's one of them where I felt for her a little bit. But as this has gone on, I'm like, oh no, you're reality TV fucking fame hungry, and Tim's going to get a short going laughing at.
I don't know why I didn't make this connection last week, but Afterlife. The guy with the beard who does the really terrible stand-up.
The bath. Oh yeah.
That's who his best man was. But
he says it. Yeah, you go, she's fucking rancid. In the office, he says it.
Oh my god!
No, that's terrible.
He's definitely him, but just minus the mullet. Honestly, I'm with you, Chris, on Sarah. Sarah or Sarah, whichever. Sarah without a H. But I had a few suspicions last week, because He had kind of let slip and jumbled his words a bit, didn't he? Because he was meant to get engaged previously, but he split up with someone 6 months ago, which seems a decent enough time, but the kind of overreaction for me. But then, the thing is, she lets it slip that, oh, well, I broke up with my boyfriend and then we were still kind of on and off again for the next 5 years. And you're like, oh, that's it. So you're giving Tim a much harder time because of what you've done. It's less about what Tim's done. It's more when you were in that situation, you did something you're really not proud of. And, like the way she's been behaving and that whole phone thing, it's like, yeah, okay. I would not be surprised if this ex that she's been on again, off again for years, I wouldn't be surprised if there were pictures or messages, recent messages going back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where that's going to go because Tim seemed to just accept it, didn't he? He just seemed quite a laid back bloke. But yeah. I just don't know. He kind of said, I'm choosing to trust you kind of thing. But it's like, come on, mate, are you really? Like, why would you? Trust is the thing that's kind of, by default you get so much, but like, it has to be tested and validated, doesn't it? So I don't know. I just, where's this going to go, Chris? I'm hoping there's a bit of drama. Like was it Becca or something a few seasons ago? It came out in the reunion. So yeah, I got my eye on this couple. Definitely, they'll have their ups and downs. I think that was our prediction from last week, wasn't it? They'll have moments and possibly even weeks where things go really well, but it's always going to be quite rocky, I think.
Yeah, I do. And Dave, I tell you what, I am in. MAFS is just nonsense, in it, and I don't know. Obviously, some of them are our age, and we've been, we're in relationships, we're married, whatever, different things, and you can sort of relate to some of the silliness of it. But then when you watch it unfold, and because there is that, I want to be famous as well. You can't play at that for fucking 5 or 6 weeks or whenever for however long you're filming. You just can't. You just can't do it. And look at Bronte and Harrison. Fuck me. I mean, that series was ridiculous, wasn't it? No matter what he did, well, he's a great guy. Until a fucking sister came in, or obnoxious sister, and laid into him. And then it was like, I'm out, I'm gone. And he's like, you should have been gone weeks ago with that bell end. You know what I mean? So let's see. But I fucking love MAFS, Dave. It's stupid. And I know it's a good thing, by the way, anyone who's listening on the Facebook page, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast, Charlene's opened up by request a MAFS Australia, but a UK timeline one. So obviously the Aussie one for when it was on and everyone was watching real time, and now we've got a UK one. So there is 2 separate chats. So there's no spoilers. It's as the show's on in the UK because we're in like episode 9 tomorrow. So yeah, please get over there if you want to come and join the chat. There's great chats in both of them, really good. And I've been down to get into the Australian one day, but I'm like, no, don't fucking ruin it for yourself until we catch up or whatever, if we do catch up. But no, honestly, I've had so much fun again, mate. It just hits differently, MAFS, for me. It's just so silly, and I just love the ridiculousness of it all.
It's great. But Chris, I feel like you're in the run-in to announcing the Patreons and stuff, but we've forgotten about Tristan and Cassandra.
Oh yes, we have, Dave. You are correct. So
that was interesting, wasn't it? And the way they've kind of gone on that very, very slow burn, or on definitely in the slow lane of everything. But I thought it was really interesting when it was digging a little bit deeper. She was feeling like, the man should be making the moves and stuff, but he had these huge insecurities. He's a bit overweight when he was a kid. He obviously had some mean girl responses and stuff, so he just felt so, I guess so just lacking any kind of confidence. And so I thought that was a really good moment. And I thought it was really sweet when they eventually did kiss and he was sort of laughing. He was like, oh, what was all that about and stuff. And so, yeah, this is the one couple that I think I am invested in. I think they're really sweet together. And I do hope it works out for them.
No, I do. And you know what? You're right about that. I think Tristan's very relatable to myself, Dave. As yo-yoing all my life and stuff, I found it really sweet, and they seem really nice together, don't they? You know, like it's the whole backstory of the origins of him. Maybe they're the ones, Dave, that will be something towards the end of the show. Possibly. I don't think there's anything sinister at the moment, and I'm hoping to God there isn't. You're right. It was dead sweet, that conversation. It was dead open, wasn't it? As a couple. So yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to pass up on them. Yeah, you're totally right. We got. What about Ben and Ellie then, Dave? I forgot about them as well.
Ben and Ellie. Oh God. Well, the thing is, Chris, females do want babies. I mean, we talked about Collins. Before you send in the hate mail, that is a quote directly from him. That's not my opinion. But
no, it is your opinion, David.
Yeah.
Send it in. Send the hate, and I'll read it all.
Drop some reviews slamming us.
Dave.
Yeah. So Ben, yeah, I mean, he was clearly a blagger, wasn't he? He was one of those, most of them are blaggers, of course, but, sometimes they're just not very good at hiding it. And he's one of the ones who's just not very good at hiding it at all. But I found his kind of roundabout way of having the whole discussion about babies and starting a family and stuff, because it was the priorities, wasn't it? Then quite good exercise, I think. It's probably not bad. I mean, I'd like to see them, shake the challenges up a bit, because they've stuck on the same ones, haven't they? The confession box is coming out. You're gonna look through each other's phone, which makes it even more bizarre. Like, why wouldn't you just scrub your phone beforehand? If you do have anything incriminating on there. And the priorities and whatever. But I do genuinely think that is a good thing. And, next week it's going to be the melting hug and stuff like that, isn't it? But I don't think she is completely ignorant to the fact that she's going to come out with all these social media followers, right? So I do think she is there for the show as well. But then I think at the time of life where she's at, she's definitely thinking about family and stuff as well. But I couldn't keep track of what he was saying. Like, I'm not open. I'm not saying I'm not open to having kids, but I am open to having kids, but I'm also open to not having kids. And it's like, fucking hell, mate. Just you're fake as fuck. Just say that with the right person, I'd have kids, and that's it. But he was doing this weird kind of dance around it to sort of say, I mean, look, he doesn't want kids. That seems clear to me. I mean, I don't think he's the other side of 40, is he? But I think he's pushing it. So, yeah, just bizarre couple. That are another sacrificial MAFS couple, aren't they? To just put on our screens for our entertainment. So I think they're not the most prominent couple who are going to provide the drama, but it'll never possibly work.
No, it won't at all, Dave. And you're right. You forget about the other couples, don't you? Because they're just like, at the moment, they're not the main characters because of what's been playing out this week. But yeah, fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So anything else, Dave, before we go?
No, I think that's it. I sort of forgot about those two, but
brilliant, absolutely.
But yeah,
brilliant.
honestly, Chris, I can't wait. And you know what? With us recording once a week, it's so tempting because the other episodes are out there. But I am enjoying as well, like being able to stop at 4 because it's so easy to skip over the details. And obviously, we've gone for nearly an hour today, but, again, we're still just skimming it, aren't we? There's so much that goes on. And, to echo what you said, MAFS just hits differently, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's so true. So true. Thank you so much to everybody who listens to the podcast. We do appreciate it, guys. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, @cdrealitycast. As always, please get over to your podcast catching app, drop us a review on the podcast, and we'll read them out, good or bad. We do appreciate it. Just helps us get up there in the charts. If you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/cdrealitycast. So the roll call of honor for today, and a massive thank you to everyone who supported the podcast, past and present, on Patreon. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So today, a big thank you to Sinead, Jessie, Kathleen Sims, Andrea, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Amanda, Larissa, Helen, Nicola, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Maggie, Zoe, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Joanna, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Susan, Hennessy, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys. Absolutely amazing support from myself and Dave. We really appreciate it. So, Dave, another week, my friend, and you're right about catching up. I'm the same. We're watching 4 episodes. I'm like, but I know there's other episodes. But then I'm like, well, that just creates so many problems because it's just because we were covering Love Island. That's my fault. And we were also covering Traitors at the same time. You know, it was mentioned we were doing one of them, but there you go, Dave. So just blame it all on me. It's my fault for getting overexcited as usual.
Yeah, it's all good. All good. All right, then. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.